Hi, everyone. It's a delight to come back and be able to lead another ceremony again. And I just wanted to talk about our timing because we did the first ceremony on the solstice, and that was intentional. That was a big day, and we wanted to come together and bring our spirits together to do some beautiful work together. And then that meant that we didn't have a video for January. So we're moving into February, and on video anyway, this is my first time to welcome us to 2021 on video. Of course, we've had the transmutation news. And I know how much we all want to see some miraculous changes happening on the planet for all of us. And I do believe that we're entering into a new cycle and a whole new paradigm. But we really have to understand that cycles first have to end, and the beginning of a cycle and moving into a cycle takes a really, really long time. So we all chose to be born at this particular time on the planet to help bridge an old way of being in the world to a new way of being in the world. But how much of those changes that we're going to see in this lifetime, we're going to see a lot, but I don't know if we're going to see the miracle that a lot of people are really waiting for, that we just walked into the age of Aquarius and we're now going to be light beings. We're working towards that, yes, but we have a long way to go because as I've been writing, I hope some of you, I know a lot of you are on Gardeners of Energy. Shamans are gardeners of energy, and I know a lot of people do not want to be on Facebook now, and I happen to be one of them. And I've been writing about how it's really important right now to find some times in silence, because we are really making these really big shifts. And I wrote about how when we grow from within, the outer world starts to look really small. So if you just focus, even in the month of February, on the statement, when we grow within, the outer world starts to look really small, that helps to remove you from some of the chaos, because we're still in this dismemberment process. The world is more divided than it's ever been, and that's dismemberment. That is actually dismemberment. So we're actually in a very powerful, very potent cycle right now. And we want to use that energy. Again, we want to be shamans of energy, and we want to be able to work that energy. So we can take a lot of the chaos, but we have to get quiet to see how we could work that energy so that we have more power to do our work by being more connected to ourself and the spirits. So before we move into our ceremony, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the journey that I've been on and just some of the things that I've learned. I've been very clear on the transmutation news that for the past 5 years, I've struggled a bit with some physical issues. And this has been going on my whole entire life, of moving from one initiation into another. And part of that was my own destiny of what my soul came in to do. And in my life, and many of you have written the same exact thing to me, so I know that we have a lot of brilliant shamanic practitioners out there, and I just want to honor that it seems like many of us go through the same suffering periods that the collective is getting ready to go through. It might not be the same means, but the lessons and the pathway through are very similar. And so I've learned so much in the last 5 years about how to walk through these really, really dark initiations where we really don't know what's coming. We don't know if we're going to survive it, and we don't know what's coming. And I taught a course on this through the Shift Network called The Dark Night of the Soul. This is not an advertisement. Trust me, I'm not doing any ads for us on this series. But what I wanted to say is I do want to bring into our monthly work some of the things that I've learned as we proceed with what's happening with the world and how we watch how things are coming together or moving more chaotic. I learned so much in this last initiation of 6 years of a lot of the tools that we have to help us in some of the darkest times. I learned these tools through my 68 years of life, getting through one shamanic initiation after another shamanic initiation, but they've all blended together. So I've been able to really deepen my path a lot. And the biggest thing that I found for myself right now, what has brought me the greatest gift in my life? What do I feel is going to completely catapult myself out of the field of energy that I've been in? It's silence. It's silence. I got to the place where I was getting so many emails. I was working so much. I was spending 10 hours on Facebook a day that I literally disconnected from myself. I disconnected from my own soul, and I had disconnected from the spirits. And I wrote a post on Facebook recently, and I put it on 3 sites. One, Shamans are Gardeners of Energy, and my own 2 personal sites. And I wrote that all illness is disconnection. And I was really talking about what I learned in my process. Some people really got it. Some people were offended by it. Of course, everything you put on Facebook, people can be offended by because they only see words. They're not seeing your eyes. They're not feeling your heart. They're not hearing the cadence of your voice when you're talking. So everything kind of seems a little bit, you don't get what a person is feeling when they're speaking. But for me, what I understood was the true cause of my illness was I disconnected from myself, and I disconnected from my spirits, and I disconnected from God. I disconnected from God when my father had went through a very, very bad death the last few months of his life. He ended up having a beautiful ending, but it was very challenging. And I felt like I'm a very religious person, and I'm not very public about that, but I felt very betrayed by God, and I lost my faith. And then when I got ill a few years later, I lost my connection to my spirits, and I couldn't hear them anymore. And that is part of what happens in a very deep initiation, is where you can't hear your spirits anymore because it's time for you to ignite your inner fire so that your inner fire gets you through the next part of your initiation. You become an adult where you're not just grabbing onto the spirits like little children, please help me, but you have your own tools, you have your own inner strength, you have your own chi, you have your own divine light to walk you through whatever is going on in your life. And so the next step of my process, and this is a very important process I feel that we are currently in right now, is for many, many years, and I'm not saying it needs to take you years, this was part of my journey, my personal journey. I had to go back and unwind a lot of trauma that had happened to me in my life, a lot of my past. And it was really interesting because I came to the end, actually came to the end, and then the spirit started talking to me about, we don't want you looking at your past anymore. This is a time, this whole journey for you has been to step away from your former life. You're moving into a whole new life. You're going to be teaching new material. You're moving into a whole new life, and you cannot carry your past with you. There's no way to do it. You have to start fresh. Now, it's true that our past sculpts us into who we are. And so that's really important. But how we drag in our culture, in our time, our past, it's such a burden on us. We have chains around us. We're all looking for freedom. And where the universe is saying to us, we have a fresh opportunity to change our behavior and create a new life. But you can't do it if you're dragging all your old traumas with you. Now, I'm not into magical thinking, so you do need to do deep inner work. I've been doing really, really deep inner work for the last 6 years, my whole life, but my God, these last 6 years. And I'm doing all these visualizations, and I want to inspire you to do them too. They actually, my spirits have me seeing myself in a bubble with my past, and they have me leaving the bubble, and you know how the bubble like trails behind you and you have to step away from it. That's the image that I'm working with right now, is fully stepping away from what I've been carrying on my shoulders for 68 years. And then my spirits the other night gave me my big core issue of my life. It was mind-blowing. And I'm going to share some of it with you because I'm going to be talking about this more in the future. I'm a painfully shy person who's very public. And I know a lot of people who enter into the path of shamanism are afraid of their sanity being questioned. And that is a big core issue of mine. And it's been a core issue of mine throughout my entire life. And so when I said to the spirits, okay, I'll explore it, they said, no, you are done with your past. We just wanted to show you that this is your core issue. We don't want you working with it. We want you walking away from it. So this is a rich time for us to look at what we're dragging into a new paradigm. If we see that 2021, where we still have the COVID, we still have division, we still have climate change, we still have so many issues, terrorism, everything that we're dealing with in politics, the loss of freedom, everything that we're dealing, it's not going to go away instantly, but we can start working as a shamanic community, as shamans have done for tens of thousands of years, of start weaving together a new plan. And I've talked about this a lot on the Transmutation News, that when you dismember something, you have to have been weaving something to take its place. So as shamans dismember illness and old patterns that don't work, and they use song to do that typically, they sing and chant a new plan from the creator, from the beings, the creative forces of the universe, from their own creation stories. What are some seeds that we can now plant for a new plan, for a new paradigm, once we're willing to step away from our past, understanding that our past sculpted us to who we are today, but it's burdening us, and we can't step into a new life and drag unfinished business with us. We have to say it's done, and that we're getting ready to step into a new life. So I really wanted to share that with you. I've had a really, really rich journey, and I lost my faith, and I lost my connection to everything that was important to me. And now that I've gotten that reconnection back, there's a lot of healing going on, and my spirits are helping me to forge a whole new path. They're taking me on back routes that haven't been walked on yet. So hang in there. I'll have a lot to share with you. But for now, I thought that the ceremony that we would do today, I like to wear an eye curtain while I do ceremonial work. Mostly because I need to be in my own space, and having people stare at me in the computer takes me out of my own sacred space. So I can keep my eyes closed and go as deep as I want to in my work. So I thought that since we, in our last ceremony that we did together, we did let go. We did a lot of letting go. We let go of past lives, atrocities, betrayals, traumas, past lives, present life, future life. And so now it's time for us to move into some rebuilding and starting to not making a gigantic plan, because we have to stay in the present, and we have to start carving out our next steps by what we're being shown in the present, and finding the silence inside of ourselves, so that we can listen to our soul, our spirit, and our own helping spirits give us the guidance. Because trust me, your ego really doesn't know the next steps of the new plan, of the new paradigm. We have to stay completely present for this new paradigm to have any chance of not fizzling out. And the only way to do that is to stay connected to yourself, to the spirits, and to your soul. So I'm just going to do some rattling and start to prepare us for our work. And as always, I invite you to use a drum or rattle and not be passive, but to sing and dance with me as we do our work together. So take some deep breaths. And really feel yourself grounded in your solar plexus, the seat of power. Feel yourself grounded in your heart. For we all know we don't have to explain that everything that matters on this great earth is around the theme of love and unconditional love, and learning how to be a human being that lives among so many creatures with honor and respect and love, and how we love each other and how we love all of nature. We know that division is the poison, and we know that love is the cure. So activate your heart center right now. You know how to do this. And activate your third eye that allows you to see. The third eye in shamanism is called the strong eye. And this is the place where shamans see from. They see from their strong eye and from their heart. They do not see from their eyes. So now that you're in the right space, psychically, spiritually, imagine yourself standing up and walking to your door of your apartment, door of your house, allowing that door to shape shift and transform into a veil that leads you into the magic of the unseen realm. And I'm going to pick up my drum and drum us through the unseen realms to a landscape where we can do a fire ceremony to start to plant the seeds for a new plan in our life. I would start for inner life. For again, as we grow into ourselves, we have a better sense of the world around us. Right now, we look at the world from ego, and that's not the best place to look at the world from. So don't rush your work. Let's start slowly so that we grow and evolve with it in the deepest spiritual way possible. So feel yourself being transported through the air. I see myself flying with my drum through the air. I usually lead ceremonies walking on a path, but I see us all levitating together as light beings. We're all starting to find each other. We're flying through the unseen realms together to a beautiful forested area. Notice how it feels to be less dense, to be a light being. That is where humanity is moving to. We're just not there yet. We come into this amazing forest. It's a pine forest. Smell the smells of the pine, of the terpenes. They're so healing. You can even see the roots of the trees coming to greet you. They feel your light, they feel your love, and they're gravitating towards you. We usually go up to trees to try and greet them, but notice how the trees are trying to greet us. And the night sky is amazing. It's cloudy, but the moon is peeking through and the stars are shining so brightly. We're standing around this big, amazing, beautiful fire. And we're passing sage, burning sage around the circle, and other sacred herbs that are burning. They're moving pretty rapidly around our circle as we cleanse ourselves of the hurt, the trauma that we've been feeling recently, all the upset, the division, our thoughts. We cleanse ourselves so that we can focus and concentrate with 100% discipline on planting a seed into the fire for a step of a new plan in our lives. We've let go of so much. So as we stand around the fire, let's do some deep listening. Listen to the crackling of the fire, smell the smoke. Gaze into the flame of the fire and ask the fire to share with you a first beautiful step. Remember, fire's billions and billions of years old. What's a first step to a healthy life? A change in your plan that has nothing to do with your past. This is a new life, a new path you're walking on. We're all walking towards the sun together in our lives. As you get your new plan, notice that all around this fire circle are sticks with yarn of the most radiant colors wrapped around the stick. As we move around the circle together, dancing and singing to the fire, receiving fire's messages. Look down and notice when a color really jumps out at you. And when that colored stick really jumps out at you, notice the radiance of the color. Feel the healing power of the color. Feel the creative power of the color. Really feel it in your body. This is going to help your concentration so much to focus on this beautiful, radiant color that you picked. And as you hold your stick in your hands, you blow, not like this. Don't blow like that. Blow like this. that seed of a new plan, that breath. Life began with a first breath. Your life began with your first breath. Here's your first breath of your new life into your plan. And now, as we all dance and sing together, in your own time, you can put the stick into the fire. And we'll sing a song together that you can join in with when you have it. Fire, fire, rising higher, fire, fire, transforming me. Fire, fire, rising higher, fire, fire, transforming me. Dancing around the fire, feeling the ecstasy of your connection to yourself, to your soul, to your spirits, to the creative forces of the universe. We're planting the seeds of a new world by giving our fire sticks to the fire, our talismans to the fire, to reconnect our dreams with the creative forces of the universe above and below. The fire, through its smoke, will bring your dreams to the creative forces of the universe. Fire, fire, rising higher, fire, fire, transforming me. And once you've put your talisman into the fire, you'll notice that there's sacred herbs that you can burn in gratitude. To the fire working with you in partnership. And now let's all step away from the fire and find a place in the landscape where you can stand as a walking star with your arms out, your feet grounded to the ground, and your head reaching to the sky. You are connected to the earth. You are connected to your soul. You are connected to your heart. Your arms reaching out shows the love that you're emanating to all of life through your heart as you reconnect to the loving energies. And with your head and with your feet, you're reconnecting to the helping spirits that you work with, and to the creative forces of the universe, or God, the goddess, or source. So there's truly just one line of connection. There can be no weak links in the work that we do. And as now we're a circle, once again, fully connected to ourselves, let's hold hands and look up at the marvels of the night sky. And let's look into each other's eyes and see the fire burning in each other's eyes. We have the fire and passion to thrive in this lifetime. We We are not as dense as we think. We are these beautiful light forms. We're just wearing these amazing robes in this lifetime. We feel the power and love and the excitement of feeling our light joining all together. But it's now time for us to go and return as light beings, saying goodbye to our circle, saying goodbye to the trees, our deepest gratitude to the fire and our circle. As we transport ourselves back home, walking through the magical doorway back into our home. But here's the most important part. We must ground those energies of the new plan, those energies of moving into a dimension of light out of the chaos of the seen world that we're in right now. There's so much to integrate and embrace and ground and integrate into our own bodies. Allow yourself to feel the excitement as together we move forward on this great journey. As in global community, we move forward to walk into a higher dimension of consciousness through the doorways of our spiritual practices. So place your hands on your heart and give gratitude to the circle and to the work that has gotten you this far. And remember that losing faith is just more of a disconnection. We must try to stay strong in our faith with the spirits and our life journey, and know that everything that is happening right now is leading us to a good place, and a place that has been destined for us. So we end our work for now. Okay, we'll just end with my little fairy bells, welcoming everybody back. Welcome back, everyone. And, you know, with all the ceremonial work that I lead online, I know I don't give people enough time to finish. So, you know, you have the ceremony that you can listen to, and you can adapt the ceremonies. I literally, I had my eye curtain on. I did not prepare one word of the ceremony. I just talked about the intention with Sylvia. So feel free to adapt your ceremonies, but if you can see that where we're moving from is being so focused on the past, because you can't take the past with you into a new paradigm. So everyone, I really feel like I'm getting so much information right now, and I know you are too. The post on Shamans of Gardeners of Energy are profound. And we have such an opportunity to move forward into a higher dimension of consciousness together. And trust me, this will not only help you, but it will help the entire collective. So until next month, everyone, I send you so many blessings, and I'll see you on Facebook. And for those of you not on Facebook, I do understand, even those on Facebook, please take time for silence. Please take time for silence. It really is our greatest healer right now. Thank you.